I left America full-time around 5 years ago. Started working remotely, started a few companies, and in this video I'm going to tell you why I can't, but also don't want to move back. I'll also share some of my discoveries I made over the past half decade trying to make this all work. Now, this is not a I hate America video at all. Americans are still my favorite people. They have some combination of optimism, ambition, and openness that you just don't get anywhere else. So I just have that instant connection that I definitely start to miss if I'm hanging out with too many foreigners. And that's connected to what I think are the best two things about America, which are the mindset and the business opportunities. The thing is, these days though, neither of those two things require you to physically be there. The mindset, if you're American, you take that with you. And you can also meet a lot of Americans overseas. And the business opportunities, most of them are now online, especially if you're in tech or marketing or any of these up and coming fields. Europe, on the other hand, I feel you get the best things about it by physically being there. And we'll come back to that, but the reality for most people, even if you're doing well in America, is 2 hours of commuting per day. You got 2 weeks of vacation per year. The average American only has 2 close friends, which I heard recently, but I believe it. People are pretty lonely. I mean, the list goes on into health, not really having as much of a safety net. In the low 50%, life is a lot worse for you than if you live somewhere like Europe. But the thing is, it's not just when you're poor. I started doing really well a couple years ago, and I did try moving back, did the LA thing, got a supercar and everything, tried Miami, tried New York. What I still felt was that you are paying top dollar in America and the value just isn't there, what you're paying versus what you're getting. And I don't feel that so much in other places, even outside of Europe. So if I had to describe those tangible things about Europe that are so good when you're there in person, I think most Americans have experienced it, but it's been in the context of a study abroad, a honeymoon, so you kind of put it in that box of not real life. You do get to experience the things like the lazy Sunday in Barcelona, going to find different little cafes by walking, the topless girls on the beach, the person yelling at you in Catalan for not speaking Catalan, even though that's a little unreasonable. And then the fact that you can be in Madrid in a couple hours and it's a completely different vibe. For me, I did have the study abroad experience, but I couldn't accept that that was gonna be my one and only time getting that Europe vibe. And it's not just a vibe, it's things like walkable cities with mixed zoning. So you have the cafes and the vibe everywhere you go. Healthy looking people, not just the topless girls, of all ages. You'll see older people hanging out with groups of friends, laughing, having fun. Objectively better food because the cows aren't grain-fed, roided up monsters. And who knows what that's doing when you eat that. Classical architecture that was considered so beautiful, it's been preserved for centuries. It's inspiring. And yes, these are all in-person things, which I think it's fair to say are quite enjoyable, quite nice to have. And my version of creating the best of both worlds is, like I said, bring that American mindset, meeting some other Americans, doing business online with America, and then having the European stuff in person. Now, my intent is not to make anyone feel bad about living in America. Chances are that's where all your friends and family are, and leaving them and just starting from zero, it's just not worth it. I did basically go through that. It was rough at the beginning before you get the feel for, what are the places to be, what are the things to do to make friends. I'm not saying burn the boats and leave everything. I think if you just do that, it's gonna be really hard. More my intent with this video is when you look at billionaires, they're traveling all the time and living this, jet lifestyle, multiple houses all over the world. They don't have any financial limit on what they want to do. So with that restraint removed, how do people act? And people are very much living in multiple locations. But of course, what you're gonna think when I say that is financially very expensive. This is related to my other reason why I actually can't go back. And let me explain that now. As a disclaimer, this is not financial, legal, tax advice at all. But there is something in America called the foreign earned income exclusion. I've talked about this a little bit before, but basically if you're out of the country for 11 out of 12 months per year. Easier said than done for a lot of people, but if you can manage to do it, you basically pay 0 federal tax on your first $110,000. If you flip that, you can think for the privilege of living in the US, you're basically paying, assuming you're making 100K, 30K a year on top of the higher cost of living, because rent, food, transportation, everything is more expensive in the US. Now I know the patriots are gonna come out and say, it's my duty to pay taxes, I'm a citizen, I benefited from this system. And yes, our taxes are also a little bit lower than certain places in Europe, but in Europe they're getting free healthcare, free university, and more of a social safety net. Whereas in America, people will say, okay, you still get free public school, you get roads, but that's all paid for by the state. And when you look at the founders of America's original vision for America, it was that the states have the power and the federal government didn't. And maybe what we've kind of fallen into now is one of those reasons for that, because it's pretty messed up to be paying so much and not getting anything for it. Also, when you think of it this way, you have the lower cost. Then on top of that, you have this extra 30K to play around with. You can basically travel full-time or have multiple setups if you choose the right countries and be paying less than you are in America. Now, obviously the challenge is working online, getting the online income, but that is part of the reason I'm making this video, is because I think a lot of you, especially with the online education now and whatnot, that's a good thing to aspire to. Also with the AI stuff, just becoming more self-sufficient is extreme, and like able to learn new skills, extremely important. And I say that in like every video, but that's possibly the most important thing that's happening right now. Anyway, those are some of my thoughts and insights after doing this for around 4 years. Am I gonna do this forever? Probably not. I think even if you do this for 1 year, it's gonna be one of the best experiences of your life. Could be to meet a new romantic partner, a ton of new friends, and then just have this amazing memory. So I would say, yeah, maybe something to think about or aspire to, and then see how that can fit into your life. I'm gonna make more videos on this, sharing more specific stories of what I've gone through, more personal stuff. I'm also gonna keep making tech videos because I do think that is one of the best ways to do something like this. If any of that sounds interesting, stick around. If you wanna subscribe, I think like 70% of people are not subscribed. So hope to see you in the next one. Let me know if you think I'm a traitor in a comment. All right, I'll catch you guys later.